Welcome back everyone. So today we're having a look at the mod Black Sting. So what this adds is 2 swords, 2 daggers and 1 greatsword. So you can find this over here at the Shadow Stone. It's literally just down here from Riften. Sort of be able to see it just literally from there. It is near the Shadow Sanctuary thing, the Nightingale Sanctuary sort of thing. But it's literally, as is come to Riften, it's literally just down this way. Or head south, essentially, but you can see over there is the... I've got no bow to show, but as essentially you can see, that is the Riften docks down that way, so it's literally just come south from the docks, and you'll perhaps find this. As well, you have to sort of go right around this way. You kind of can jump up the mountain, you can sort of do that, but as it's not too hard to find. Anyway... The swords and that, on the other hand, I will say I kind of did have a little bit of trouble with this when I first got here because it was night time, so I did not actually see this. But here are the 2 swords. You got a coin purse that you can take. A little bit of coin on the skeleton. That is a book of it. It does sort of just say about it. Well, in a nutshell version, it pretty much has about... the skeleton, or the dude here was I think an assassin or something, and it's pretty much that is, have a look at the, I won't be as is look at the book, but essentially it's in a nutshell, the dude was an assassin. Over here is essentially where to find everything else. So we do have an adapt lock. There's going to be the sweet spot on this. Nah. Funnily enough, some lockpicks can, like, master and expert locks sometimes are easier, oddly enough. There we go. So here's where to find everything else. I'm quite sure this is the same interior as Mehrunes Dagon's area. I'm quite sure. But anyway, as this, so we've got the 2 daggers here and the greatsword. As there's a little bit of loot still in here, there is, where is it? There's one. The ebony ingot and that, so I'm quite sure this is the same interior as up at Mehrunes Dagon where the Dremora are. But anyway, as I'll go take these over to my area and have a look at these. Okay, so we got a bandit attack. Okay, I will go with I'll go with a dagger and a sword. Always a good place to get an attack, I suppose. Oh god, okay, yeah, okay. We're not going to try that out with those. Try and find my. There we go. My 1-tap weapon. I could, there we go. And technically still got a dagger in hand. But anyway. Let's... Again, I will say for anyone wondering that, yes, that is a glitched weapon, literally just for situations like that. Anyway. Do I have... Okay, I don't have the... Well, obviously that'll be able to be upgraded. But anyway, let's have a look at their damages. So, I do have it already written down. We'll just have a look at this very quickly. As you see, yes, the Black Sting, not bad. It kind of does look like a Nightingale weapon. I can't probably see, can't zoom it in enough. But on the actual handle, that kind of looks like eyes. So, that's pretty cool. So they're all pretty much the same. Just in dagger and form. As is... Pretty cool, as is. I don't know. In one way, like with like the handle there, it kind of seems like Hermaeus Mora. I think it's Hermaeus Mora, the god of knowledge, type of one. Like the eye. I don't know. It still seems like that. But I mean, by all means, they could work as Nightingale weapons. By all means. But yes. Anyway, as this, so the sword comes in with 18, daggers are 13, and then the greatsword 24. Have a look. So iron. Get an iron dagger. So that's 5. So if they upgrade with ebony, was it? So 13. Was it 13? I think it was 13. Yeah, so 13 for the daggers. So they come in with ebony stats, sort of. I mean, the daggers do one more than ebony. The great sword's the same, and the sword bit higher than the actual sword for ebony. So cool there. Worse than that one. So the sword comes in with dragon bone damage for the sword. The great sword. Did I go past the great sword already? There we go. Yeah, so it's lower than that. So what about Daedric? So it comes in, so essentially it's Daedric dagger and lower than a Daedric great sword. Maybe glass great sword? That's 28. Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah. So essentially great sword is ebony. Actual swords were no daggers. No, yeah. Yeah, that one. So, it's dragon is essentially for the sword, and was it glass? No, it was Daedric for the daggers. Yes. So yes, it's essentially dragon bone for the swords damage, Daedric for the daggers, and ebony for the greatsword. I will say it's kind of odd. They do require a ebony ingot to upgrade, but I will say it's kind of odd in a way that they normally weapons are literally sort of, if they're upgraded with, say, ebony, they'll all be ebony stats, either the exact same, slightly above, or slightly lower. So it is a bit bizarre, kind of. Technically, the sword's the best sword you can get, more or less, because that's on par with Dragonbone. Dagger being able, great sword's kind of the lowest. As is with that sort of being ebony, and then it's and then Daedric. So yeah, realistically, not bad at all. As is with all the weapons. Obviously, if you want to be a warrior, yes, now you go with the greatsword. With two daggers and two swords, two daggers and two swords, you can either do, say, you could be the assassin and give your follower two swords, or vice versa, or both you and your companion can have a sword and a dagger, or again, companion could have a great sword. So, cool thing with that, as there's multiple different options you can go with these sort of weapons, and as is like they all do. Oh, there we go. I mean, they kind of do all look the same. Only real differences I can sort of see is, well, probably between the sword and the great sword are practically the same, but the dagger, it could be because they're a bit, slightly different, but it just looks where the circle is, or the hole there. It sort of looks just slightly thicker in the blade. That could just be because it's the way it is, but as is, that's still pretty cool. And as like I said, it looks like something that the Nightingales would use. But as is though, that hand, like, especially you might be able to see it, might show up depending on how it's sitting. Like, you can still see as is, looks like eyes in the actual handle. So pretty cool thing. As is, as again with the lore, what I did see or sort of vaguely read was essentially they're marked for they were an assassin or something along those lines, and they were marked for death. I can't remember if they were actually in the Brotherhood, the Dark Brotherhood, or what. As is, if you're gonna, as is, go read that book. But as is, all in all, pretty cool. I will just say that it would have been cool if these had some type of effect with them, type of thing. It's always cool with something like that. Overall, then yes, they're essentially just a generic weapon, but I kind of think it would have been cool if they had maybe said poison of some sort. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, as is, hope everyone has enjoyed, and I shall see everybody next time.